Well, hello. Well, welcome to Math 20. My name's Murray Tilson, and I'll be your instructor for this quarter. I just want to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about my teaching philosophy and what you can expect in our course. Um, my background is engineering. I'm not an educator. That's not where I started in school, but I started as a chemical engineer, and I've done a lot of engineering throughout my career. I started back in the auto industry, worked for Chrysler for a year and a half, as well as General Motors for a year and a half, and worked in the pollution area. Um, After that, my wife and I were back in Detroit, Michigan, where I worked with the auto industry, which logical makes sense. We both went to Wayne State at night school. I got my master's in civil engineering in the area of sanitary engineering. Prior to that, I had a degree in chemical engineering. Um, my wife and I graduated at the same time, and then we chose to come back to Oregon to be with her folks. Um, her family's out here. I took a job with the Department of Environmental Quality and was a regional engineer. I opened up an office in Tillamook on the coast and was in charge of the three northern counties for all the air, water, and solid waste programs. And it was a very strenuous, kind of stressful job. You felt like everyone was against you, whatever you did. And the harder you worked, the more barriers you had. It was very, very hard. I quit that after 4 years and I worked for a civil engineering consulting firm, and it was a lot easier. And I did water and sewer studies and little things like that. I did that for 3 years, and then I went out on my own and started doing energy audits. This was back in the time in the Portland area where companies could get free grants to do these energy audits. So it didn't cost them anything. So we just had to pitch it to these companies that we would come in and look at uh, your energy condition, do an energy balance, look at your, how much energy you spent in the area, whether it was natural gas or electricity, and per month, and then do a balance as to what we found. And then based on that balance, we could say, well, if you cut this and cut this and cut this, you could save X amount of dollars, and you could pay for this, with a simple payback of 2 years or whatever. So we did these studies. I did that for 3 years, and I had about, what time I think I had 8 people working for me. So it was just a small little company, but that's what we did. Then after that, the grant business dried up, and it was hard to, I couldn't keep my employees for one thing, and so I finally dropped the business and took a job with a German silicon wafer manufacturing company in the Portland area. I started out as a facility operations supervisor and worked my way up to environmental manager, and then manufacturing manager in one area, then a maintenance manager, then director of manufacturing, and then director of planning, and just a lot of jobs within a 12-year period. Then after that, I went out on my own, and I did consulting, and I took a job with KPMG, and I learned how to do Oracle consulting. They sent me to a number of schools around the country, and I learned how to do the functional analysis in the Oracle space. Okay. What we would do, we'd go into a company, we would set up all the Oracle setups so that they could run manufacturing, run their finances, run inventory, run sales, everything that you would, all the business elements, we would put um, into a software pack, huge software package that they were able to use to keep track of the business. And it could be global. You could have companies over in England and over in Ireland and over in Japan and all over the world, and different currencies and everything. But everyone's still talking to everyone else via Oracle. And so it was a huge relational database. And so I did that for 12 years. I worked for 24 different companies in 12 years all around the world. It's very interesting work, but it's part of my family. I tried to bring my wife with me as much as I could, but I think the highlight was I spent we spent 3 months over in Switzerland working on a project. It was just beautiful over there. Anyway, I did that. Then I semi-retired. We moved to Newport 9 years ago, and I still did some Oracle recruiting work. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, I found out that there was a real need for substitute teachers in Lincoln County, and there still is for sure. And so I took a test, and even though I didn't have any degrees in engineering, or excuse me, education, I had 3 different degrees, so that was certainly enough to be able to teach as a substitute teacher. I quickly I taught anywhere from classes ranging from kindergarten all the way up to advanced math and excuse me, advanced physics and everything in between. And it was very challenging. You never knew what you were going to get thrown at you from day to day. You just get a phone call and boom, you show up and you were that teacher. So I did that, but then I found out that there was a real need for um, tutoring in the math area. In fact, a lot of the teachers, they wouldn't even, if it was for a math class, I'm not going to substitute that. They were very scared of math. And so I got all this math work all the time. And then I started tutoring. In the last couple of years, I've been tutoring, and I've worked in almost all the schools in the Lincoln County School District. Um, and I still have some private clients that I tutor. And a year ago, I started teaching at the college here. There became an opening for a part-time math instructor, and I always wanted to do that. So I taught Math 20. That was my very first course last fall. Also taught Math 65, intermediate algebra. And I taught 2 of the Math 65 classes. I taught Math 58, and I taught Math 98. And here again, I'm teaching Math 20 for the second time. I'm looking forward to it. My philosophy is that if you guys don't succeed, I don't succeed. So if you don't pass, I've done a lousy job. So I'll do everything I can to pass you, and I'll do everything I can so you understand math and how it works and so forth. We'll have a number of quizzes, and the quizzes are to get you familiar with taking math tests and so forth. We'll have two math tests and 1 final. There's a lot of homework involved. If you can't do the homework, give me a call, send me a text, an email, or whatever, and I'll help you out. Okay. Again, I want you to all be successful. I want you to pass. And that's my goal in this class, is for everyone to pass. I don't want any failures. Okay. When we start, it'll be through Zoom, of course, because we can't be in person at this point because of COVID. So I'll be using Zoom, and we'll just do our best to make it work. I used Zoom in the spring quarter, and it worked quite well. So I think we can make it successful. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys have any questions at all, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to help. And I look forward to our first day of class, which will be Math 20 on 28th of September at 8 o'clock in the morning. I know and also have office hours from 10:30 to noon, virtual. And I think I'll probably be down at the site. Down at the college doing it. My office time. I'll just have to work that out. Anyway, I'm glad you're able to see this video, and I look forward to working with all of you. Hope you have a great day, and look forward to seeing you on September 28th. Take care. Bye-bye.